Celestial Storm is about to come out, guys, and Tabletop Village is having a pre-sale where you can get a booster box of the set for $90 shipped anywhere in the United States. Don't forget to check out the links below in order to take advantage of this great offer. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2018. As you guys can see, this is a different sort of video that I've been working on and I wanted to bring to the channel. PTCGO doesn't have the Celestial Storm cards yet. The set list was released over the weekend, and so we finally know exactly which cards we can and cannot expect for the Worlds format in August and for the Nashville Open. Now, a lot of you have been asking and wondering how much of an impact will RAYQUAZA GX have. The answer to that is I do not know, but we can take a look at what's probably going to be one of the more standard versions of RAYQUAZA GX. The list that you guys can see below, above, is based off of the Japanese winning list from Japan Nationals that took place a little over a month ago, which is focused on RAYQUAZA GX. Now, RAYQUAZA GX is a great card. Its ability Stormy Winds says when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may discard the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Now, why is this ability very good? Number one, because it's optional, and that's really good, right? Because in the late game, once you've fully set up, maybe you don't need to get more energy into play, and therefore you really don't need RAYQUAZA's GX Stormy Winds to activate, so you get to make it optional. And the next thing is, yes, discarding 3 cards off the top of your deck is quite a big resource loss, I guess, because there are 3 random cards. You don't know what you're going to be losing. You could be losing other RAYQUAZAs, you could be losing energy, you could be losing that valuable Guzma that you need to close out a game. But the good thing about this is that if you choose to discard, the energy that you get to attach does not have to be within those 3 cards that you discarded. So as long as you have some energy in the discard pile, and as you guys can see above, we are playing 16 total energy, so it shouldn't be a problem. As long as there are energy in your discard pile, you should be good to go in terms of attaching that extra energy per turn. So that's really good. RAYQUAZA's GX Dragon Break attack deals 30 damage times the amount of basic grass and lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon in play. Therefore, each RAYQUAZA immediately brings 30 damage to the board, and then if you play 4 down and then your attachment per turn, that's already 150 damage. Yeah, so you will be losing quite a few resources in terms of supporters or even more energy and other Pokemon. But even discarding energy is actually pretty good because that will only fuel other RAYQUAZA GX's Stormy Winds as well. So there's a lot of synergy going on there. And then as we'll go into the deck description, you'll see that we're running quite a few ways to discard energy, and so many energy that we're hoping to attach quite a few by the end of turn 1 and definitely by the end of turn 2, so that RAYQUAZA GX can just start pummeling whatever is in front. Now, its Tempest GX attack says you discard your hand and draw 10 cards, so it's slightly different from Drumpa's GX attack, which I forget the name right now, but that was a thing as well, where you got to shuffle your hand and then draw 10 cards. Tempest GX, you discard your hand and then you draw a clean 10. Now, N has been seeing a little bit of a decrease in play. We used to have 4 Ns as standard, and then ever since Cynthia became a thing, it actually hasn't been as popular. Therefore, the chances that you get to keep those 10 cards are actually decently high. And even if you don't get to keep them, it's a great way to maybe recover in the late game, and or if your opponent brings down your hand from 10 to 6 and then your turn 7 cards total, that's not a big deal. And if you were dead drawing or if you just wanted a new hand, then 7 or 10 cards is almost pretty good. Yeah, almost the same. Yeah, or just as good. Now, let's move on to a deck list that I have. This is my first iteration of the deck. Disclaimer, this is completely untested for now, but I do believe that there's a lot of potential to the deck. So we have 4 of the Rayquaza GX that we already reviewed. 180 HP and Fairy Weakness does mean that a Sylveon EX could be decked into many decks where its attack dress up deals 30 plus 30 if it has a tool card attached. So if that tool card is a choice band, that's 90 damage times 2, 180. So Sylveon EX might be the hottest tech card going into Worlds and Nashville Open, depending on how popular Rayquaza GX ends up being. Now, having said that, we also have Latias Prizm, which unfortunately we don't have an English scan just yet, but it has 120 HP, and its attack for any colorless energy, you deal 30 damage, and you get to attach one basic energy card from your discard pile to any dragon Pokemon that you have in play, or to each of your dragon Pokemon that you have in play. So Latias Prizm is a great way to recharge in the mid game, or if you're lucky enough to actually charge up in the early game, and be able to power up Rayquaza GX to deal insane amounts of damage, basically one hit killing whatever is in front. So Sylveon EX might be a good way to counter Rayquaza, but if Rayquaza gets to the point of no return with so many energy in play, it might actually not matter, and you would just be trading one hit KOs. Now we have Oranguru with its Instruct ability in order to have some late game end protection, which is the way that a lot of decks will try to deal with Rayquaza, seeing as it's not running Zoroark. Definitely can't run Zoroark, I don't think. That would be too much discarding. There's no real synergy with Oranguru, with Octillery, and you'd really rather just have that space for extra supporters and extra energy, or things like Elixirs and Fighting Fury Belts. And so Oranguru is our best bet in order to have some Pokemon draw. And thankfully this deck actually doesn't suffer too much from bench spaces, and it does play Paralysis of its own in order to try and prevent your opponent from playing their Paralysis first, and that way you can spread your energy around a little bit better. Now we do run one Tapu Koko GX with 170 HP. Tapu Koko's ability allows it to switch in, absorb some lightning energy, as many as you want, and become active. Then its Sky High Claws attack deals 130 damage, a very solid number to have, especially when things like Baby Buzzle are mainstays in the format. And finally, its Tapu Thunder GX attack deals 50 damage for every energy your opponent has in play. Therefore, it's a really good tech card for the mirror match. It's a really good GX attack to have, and overall, if your opponent is not limiting their or counting their energy correctly, it could definitely surprise some of them. Now we do have Tapu Lele for draw support and consistency purposes. We do run 3 Ultra Balls and 4 Mysterious Treasure, which can search for Psychic and Dragon Pokemon. Therefore, we can search for our Rayquazas, our Latias Prizm, and also our Tapu Leles on turn 1. And that means a lot of consistency, especially given the fact that we're actually not looking to bridge on turn 1. So we can always guarantee a draw supporter once we find that Lele or the Guzma that we might need to target down an opponent's threat. Now in terms of supporter cards, we have 4 Sycamore, 4 Guzma, 3 N, and 3 Cynthia, so 10 total draw cards, maximum Guzmas, because we're likely gonna need 1 or 2 to close out a game, and we are likely going to lose 1 or 2 to the Stormy Winds ability. Therefore, we maximize the 4 Guzmas. Now, as I mentioned, 4 Mysterious Treasure and 3 Ultra Ball to maximize our Pokemon search. We have 4 Max Elixir as well in order to get that energy advantage going as soon as possible. There's a lot of synergy with Max Elixir and Rayquaza GX, and we are playing a 16 total energy count, which I believe is a new record high, and therefore your chances of whiffing the Elixir should be, even though they exist, they should be pretty low. Now, 2 Rescue Stretchers, because we could lose some important Pokemon due to Rayquaza GX's ability, and even if, just as soon as one Rayquaza GX goes down, you would likely want to immediately replace it, so the Rescue Stretchers essentially become extra Rayquaza GXs. Now in terms of tool cards, we're running 3 Fighting Fury Belts, because we're gonna be getting so many energy in play that hitting the right numbers with Choice Band probably won't be as crucial, but making Rayquaza GX live longer might actually be pretty important. And finally, triple Floatstone to make sure that we can retreat our Oranguru, we can retreat the Latias Prizm easily, and we don't lose energy doing so, which is the most important thing. 2 Paralysis, as I mentioned, because we wanna make sure that we can prevent our opponent's Pokemon or our opponent rather, from playing Parallel City first. 2 is not a very high count. It might be better as Field Blower, honestly, but as I said, this is based off of the Japanese winning list, and that list had 0 Field Blower and 2 Parallel City, and that's why we went for that. Now finally we have 8 basic Grass Energy and 8 basic Lightning Energy. That's the most energy I've played ever in a deck, so I'm looking forward to making sure that I hit every elixir pretty much every game, and that I have a ton of ways or extra energy to discard to make sure that every time I use RAYQUAZA GX's ability, I can guarantee that I will attach an energy as well. And so guys, that's the list, as you can see, of RAYQUAZA GX. Huge thanks to Broccoli for their great tool that allows us to make these very nice looking graphics, and therefore this video. And I wish we could follow this up with some gameplay, but in a couple of weeks I'm sure we will be able to do so. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this type of video in the comment section down below. I will be very appreciative, and if you do enjoy it, let me know so that I can bring you more more deck profiles of the newest cards from Celestial Storm. There are a ton of interesting GXs to be explored and a ton of interesting strategies such as Ludicolo Cargo, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. Thank you guys so much, and until next time.